So it's official. War Thunder is finally receiving esports. It's not an announcement I think would come today, but now we have it. And basically we're going to talk about what is going to entail a War Thunder esports. Basically in the most recent devlog, they released the timeline, the rewards, and the requirements for actually joining the tournament. So basically the first thing here is the major events. So first there's going to be an open qualifier, then 3 majors. Open qualifier will have two weekends, so 4 days total, which people can join, qualify, and then there's 3 majors. Interestingly, the first major is going to be a mix of planes and tanks. While the second one is going to be just tanks, and third one is going to be just air. And then the final one is going to be all 3 of them combined. So basically their idea is they want kind of teams that are fully all-rounded versus just being a tank team, just being an air team, which I think is very interesting. Then the next section is they talk about how you can actually join the tournament. They say right here, you're going to need 8 players, and that there's going to be an announcement to basically apply for the open qualifier. And then once you qualify, they'll do some more things from there, like no player changes will be possible in addition to that. And also, right down here, they talk about scoring. So basically how qualification works is you're going to be scoring points in the qualification period, and this is the whole scoring system. The post will be in the description if you want to look at it in a more detailed manner, to go over it, to gather your team and things like that. But here is kind of how the brackets of the rounds are going to work, and how the scorings will work themselves. And of course, as we get closer to the period in which the tournament's actually going down, the esports is actually happening, there'll be more info about that. And then right here, it says if there's going to be tied amount of points for teams, they're going to face head to head. And then also the team with more dominant wins is going to advance. So even though you win matches, it doesn't necessarily mean you're at an equal pace as other people with the same points as you. So they're really trying to get everyone to push their absolute hardest, or just have the top people in. The most interesting part right down here is the rewards and cash prizes. Well, they haven't specifically laid out the exact rewards they're having yet. They have said it's going to have over 400,000 golden eagles in it, which is probably going to be distributed to the individual players' accounts. There's also talking about 15,000 euros for the final. So if you don't make it to the final, you're probably still going to walk away with golden eagles, which is pretty good, but you're not going to exactly walk away with cash. They also talk about their sponsors who are going to be advertising throughout the game, and Thrustmaster, of course, everyone knows that's the controls you use for Sims. Stream by Hercules, I haven't heard of before, but then here it talks about how they're an audio software system, things like that. But Thrustmaster is really interesting. Maybe there's going to be something added into the tournament where you get a Thrustmaster, joystick for winning or things like that. And of course, right down here, it says where you're going to be able to watch the tournament, of course, on Twitch and YouTube. And also it talks about community events that are also going to be happening. So there's going to be regional events with unique prizes, and the format, it will be decided by the community. So maybe it'll be kind of a meme format or something like that, something not as professional as the other days. And of course, to stay up to date with things, you can follow them on Instagram, X, formerly known as Twitter, and also Telegram. I was kind of skeptical when I saw this news at first, because War Thunder's mechanics, in my opinion, don't really make it that open to esports, or there's at least not been an esports base in the past. So that may be a problem moving forward, because not having, kind of this esports thing to build off of may not work, especially if there's not necessarily a community for it. So we're going to have to see if this thing is actually popular within the community itself, and hopefully it is, because if an esports base grows, that's only going to be better for the actual game itself. And also, they don't necessarily discuss it here, how vehicles work and things like that. It basically says there's going to be armored, there's going to be air, and there's going to be a mix. So who knows if you're allowed to bring any aircraft in, because then I feel like it may be a little more meta-based, where everyone's having the same aircraft, same tanks, things like that. It'll depend on how many tanks you can bring in, things like that. So you may be more inclined to bring certain nations versus other certain nations. Maybe you're penalized for players all having the same nation, or maybe each player needs to have their own different nation. So we're going to have to see when things come around for that, especially when more info drops about that. Anyway, this is kind of short video, little announcement of War Thunder Esports. Are you excited? What do you think? Do you think it's a little bit of a weird announcement? Let me know. Anyway, I'll see you in the next video.